Welcome to another video. I thought the time was right to do another gaming pet peeves video. After the one I did a couple of years ago, I immediately thought of some more things that annoyed me, so here we go. Small inventories. I love wandering around in a game, exploring new areas, and fighting monsters, but one thing I don't enjoy is having to stop what I'm doing every 50 feet to use and discard items just to free up inventory space. While it may make sense in a survival horror title or a western game that's trying to be somewhat realistic, this gameplay mechanic does not need to be in everything. Games that won't let you play all the way through in easy mode. Some may be disappointed to hear me say this, but I will occasionally play a game in easy mode. Sometimes I just want to chill out and play something not too stressful, but end up getting annoyed when I reach the end of the third stage and the game says, "If you want to play the rest, try normal mode, asshole." Well, if you can't play the whole game in easy, then that mode shouldn't even exist. It's just a fucking tease. Updates and game installs. Remember the days when we could just put a game into the console and fucking play it? Last year I bought Gran Turismo 5, and before I could fire it up, I had to deal with 2 GB of system file installs, 16 updates, followed by 8 GB of installs, along with the game's 3-second installs for every new section. And this was the XL version. You would think that at the very least it wouldn't have to download anything. If you're not done patching the game, don't release a Game of the Year or XL edition. Anyways, there are a lot of people that defend updates claiming that they are necessary. Most games seem to work just fine for me before the 7th generation. How did we go from PS2 and GameCube games that for the most part function just fine day one, to PS3 games that need new updates every 25 minutes? The aspect ratio police. We've all seen this happen in Facebook groups before. Someone posts a picture of one of their favorite games that they would like to discuss with fellow gamers, and some dipshit has to make a comment about the aspect ratio being wrong. They say wonderful things like, "Check that aspect ratio, bro," or "You should know better." Granted, some of these people are just messing around, but there are some whose only posts in the group are policing other people's aspect ratios. Who the fuck cares? Unless they're coming over to your house and forcing you to play with a stretched screen, what difference does it make? These are the same kinds of people that will get on you about not owning a CRT. They claim that they can be found easily by just walking down your street. While you may get lucky and find one in your neighborhood, chances are that you won't see any most of the time. These guys act like there's a pyramid of motherfucking CRTs on every corner, every day. Sequels that change controls for no reason. This is one that really ticks me off. You will play through 2 or 3 games in a series and will get used to how the game or character controls. Then, for no good reason, the developer decides to switch buttons or button combinations around. Why would you do that? Why fix what wasn't broken in the first place? While we're on the subject of controls, how about games or systems that don't let you configure controls? Nintendo is notorious for this, as you saw in my last Pet Peeves video with the forced motion controls. But they also do neat things like not letting you configure Game Boy Advance controls on the DS. I was looking forward to playing Donkey Kong Country on the DS the same way I played it on the Super Nintendo, by using Y for running and B for jumping, but Nintendo said nope! Oh wait, looks like there is a Game Boy Advance configuration on the DS. Let's take a look and... You assholes! Forced tutorials. When I started gaming back in the 2600 and NES days, I either read the instruction manual or just experimented while playing the game. Okay, so there wasn't much experimenting you could do with the 2600 single button, but with other consoles after that, I would just try out the buttons to see what they do. It's not that hard. Unnecessary button prompts. This is one that has become more prevalent over the past few years. Seems like games need to hold your hand constantly and tell you what button to press when. A good example is the Dragon Quest VIII port on the 3DS. Every time you stand near a person or a breakable item, an icon appears over it. This wasn't a thing in the original PS2 version, so why is it necessary now? I think most people know how to press the action button to interact with things. Oy vey. Now let's close off this video with some PSP complaints. Except in this case, my beef isn't with Sony, but with some of the people that bought it or came up with stupid reasons not to buy it. One of the biggest complaints I used to hear when the PSP came out was that it was too big and didn't fit in your pocket. Hello? Did I miss something here? I've never had any problem fitting this handheld in my pocket, and my pants don't have ginormous pockets, they're just normal jeans. UMDs. What is everyone's issue with UMDs? A common complaint I hear about them is that they are too flimsy. Well, I've been a PSP owner for over 10 years now and have owned about 50 games. Take a guess how many UMDs I've broken in that time. Fucking 0. So it blows my mind when I go PSP shopping and see all these UMDs and replacement shells. Is it really that hard to take care of your shit? This can make it annoying when you buy a complete copy and then realize that the UMD has a replacement shell on it. Anyways, that will wrap up the second episode of Gaming Pet Peeves. If you have any video game pet peeves of your own, please leave them down below in the comments or even do a video response. As always, I want to thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you next time.